Hello to you. Here we are for day 23 of these 100 days of transmissions, and I'm just smiling again. So often I'm coming into the transmissions smiling about the numbers for the day, and how today is part 3 of 3, and it's the 7th of March. So 7 and 3, and 7 and 3 are my favourite numbers and always have been since I was little. Since coming into a different kind of exploration than I spent most of my life in. I've heard people say that 7 and 3 are in some way connected to the divine, to life, to the universe. I can't remember the specifics, other than obviously 3's got the Holy Trinity connection. But yes, I'm just smiling at the fact that it's part 3 of 3 on the 7th of the 3rd, which feels rather perfect. And so today is part 3 of this little mini series within this 100, and it's related to realizing desires. So over the last 3 days, we've looked at recognizing yourself, and I talk about in that video, when we're talking about yourself, I'm talking about your most essential nature, that which you have always been, that which could never change, which has never disappeared, which could never be taken away from you, which could never be different than it is. It's that most essential, that most fundamental, which is you. Then on day 2, we looked at being with fears, and very importantly, that being with them with no agenda, with no need for them to change, just being with them in full inclusion and full presence. And then today we are looking at realizing your desires. And it seems to me that the more we've explored 1 and 2, the more easily 3 becomes obvious and just kind of inevitable, really. But that doesn't mean we can't do things to support the process, like transmissions such as this, or equally just noticing what in life we love, noticing what in life we enjoy. These transmissions being a perfect example of that, because when I very first started them, the whole point of it was, in fact, it came from that question. I don't really know what I want. I don't really know what I desire, and it looking like there was an absence of an absence of interest, an absence of passion, of direction, of what do I actually want to do? What do I really enjoy doing? And my friend Nikki, who's the one who's also doing these 100 days, reflecting back, well, what if that seeming absence of desire is actually a clever fear mechanism over the surface, which is kind of covering over the desire, for fear that, oh my goodness, but if you were to go towards that desire, then who would you be? Who would you be then? You wouldn't be following the same storyline that you followed all your life. And so the mind can be very clever. The system can be very clever. The ego, I guess we could say, can be very clever at making it appear one way when actually it's a way of keeping us within a story. It's a way of keeping us in a limit of some kind, in ideas of some kind, rather than in the truth of who we are and what we want. And so this realizing desires aspect, like I say, it seems like it will naturally become more apparent the more we know who we really are, the more we can be with our fears and really understand them. It's like all that's left in the absence of fear is the expression of desire. But as I say, sometimes we can go towards it and support that process with things like this, with things like exploration of what we love, what we enjoy, just noticing day to day, what brings me alive, what lights me up. It doesn't mean it's got to be forever, but it's like, what is it now? What do I really love doing now? What do I want to get more involved in? What do I feel passionate about? And so that's what this is for today, is to support you with that process in realizing your desires, to reinvigorate that spark, to brighten it. It's already there, really, but it's to bring it more into presence, bring it more into awareness, so that potentially over the coming days you'll just notice perhaps things that you do love, that you do enjoy, and that you might want to make more of. You might want to expand those in your experience. Because actually that's probably worth speaking to as well, the fact that we can be with our fears, and that will support the realization of our desires. But equally, we can go towards the realization of our desires, and that will naturally take attention away from the fears. So in many ways as well, it doesn't really matter which way we go. There's two mutually supportive processes happening there, and both will lead to that expansion into what you really love to do and that fuller expression of life that you are. So I've done quite a lot of chat on these last couple, haven't I? But it's so important to me. These aspects that we've looked at these last 3 days are so fundamental to any self-exploration, no matter what it is, no matter what we're doing. It seems to me that this is the healthy, full, inclusive exploration with these three aspects that we've looked at these last 3 days. So let me get my my gong ready. We'll begin with the gong as usual and end with the gong. And if you can sit there for a bit longer at the end, then please do that. And if not, then no worries, and just go gently and see how you feel. Thank you for being here. Much love to you, and I shall see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining today. Lots of love and see you soon.